Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good to be back. Best do it at a bit of a run if you're nervous. Who knows where this is from? Anybody? Yeah, I heard it there. Perfect. Yeah, this is the topic of my talk. I promise you it's not a Wizarding World talk. I brought memes and personal stories and stuff, so I kind of counter the increased difficulty of Ignites with just blabbering about personal opinions for 5 minutes, basically. I'm Daniel from Germany. I like Kubernetes, GitOps platforms, DevOps, like most of us, I guess. I like lightning talks. This is my 4th one. Last year here in Amsterdam was my 2nd one. So you can judge if this one is twice as good, I don't know. And I like walking into walls, which means challenging myself, trying out new stuff, right? And walls are intimidating and they are everywhere in life. They are in our personal lives, they are in our professional lives, and they're in DevOps, right? DevOps is about tearing down those fences and walls between the teams, making them speak to each other. So according to Molly Weasley, running can help us, right? Just run straight into the wall and you enter a fantastic new utopia paradise world where you can eat frogs made of chocolates and drive on fancy trains, stuff like that. But there's also this guy here from another very famous movie who just started running because he was like overwhelmed by the situation he ended up in, right? And he ran for weeks, months across all of the US. So maybe I don't want to do that. But why do people start running into walls, through walls? Well, because with higher velocity, you might actually end up either breaking through or just overcoming this wall, unlocking yourself, getting further in life, getting further in your professional career, or just unlocking new potential, right? So the thing is, if we do this unconsciously, it's like a coping mechanism. We see a wall, we start running, something happens, hopefully something good happens, and then we averted the crisis. But coping mechanisms are very intuitive, and you can't really build a strategy out of them, or you need to build a strategy out of them to actually capitalize on them. So if you see a wall, you should ask yourself, why or where am I hesitating? Why did I stop in front of this perceived wall? And what is making me nervous here? Then you can start running. Just stop overthinking is normally the first step, for me at least. Just start. Chip away on the task at hand. Just take a brick out of the wall, so to say, or just start running into it. It might break down eventually. You keep doing this then. You keep running into the wall. Might hurt a bit, might be a bit of a harder time, but it helps you focus on the challenge or process or task at hand. So you can take your time, sit down, and learn Kubernetes in your free time, or whatever. Learn about DevOps practices. And at some point, you will actually notice it's not a wall anymore. I can walk around it. I can climb above it. Maybe I've broken a hole into it, because often we're the only thing blocking ourselves or keeping ourselves back. And just starting to run might be all that's needed to overcome this. But I promised you that's not a Wizarding World talk. It's not just me trying to be a miserable coach talk. I want to talk about personal stuff. So now is story time and meme time to make it a bit more spicy. And I want to talk about 3 situations in my quite young career where I ran into walls, right? And the first one was during COVID. I had my whole study program all planned out. I was about to start my master's degree, and the pandemic hit, and my university was very bad at handling it. So I had the choice to start a job with a degree I didn't want to go job hunting with, or stay at university, which I hated at the time. So I ran away. I ran away from university. I ended up in consulting, talking to people, trying to convince them that I actually know tech, and yeah, now I'm here on stage. So that worked out, I guess. Another wall was, for me, when I ended up with 2 choices which were equally good, right? I got kind of paralyzed. I had the chance to transition from consulting within my company over to a more technical marketing-related role. And for me, at least, again, very personal, I learned at some point I just need to pick one and run for it. Now, you can always come back, or often you can come back and remedy your choice if it ended up being the wrong one. But you need to start with something, right? And the third thing, which I get now when talking to other people about lightning talks and encouraging them to speak, is they're incredible engineers or tech folks, and they write about it, or they might even discuss it on the hallway track, but they never speak. And they feel like they're not good enough, imposter system kicks in and everything. And normally you're the only one feeling that way. Everybody else admires you for having the courage, being up there, sharing your wisdom, right? Getting the discussion started. And that, again, comes down to just starting to run. So summing it all up, walls are inevitable in your lives. I guess now if you think about it, you have encountered walls in your life as well, and you overcame them, so that's a good thing. So don't get slowed by them. Take action instead. Start running like this guy, because that's what I will be doing. and maybe see you next year again here on stage at DevOps Days 2025.